Jeez Louise. Need more coffee. Hold on. Let me drink coffee first. Hello, welcome or welcome back to Sarahs.stitch. I'm Sarah. I am 27 years old. I live in Hoboken, New Jersey, and my day job is an auditor for a public accounting firm, but in majority of my free time, I am knitting or traveling or knitting and traveling. So this is my second episode of this podcast. Last week I was inspired by the Stephen West MKAL to start filming my progress on not only the Twist and Turns shawl, but also my other things I'm working on. And I got into a little bit more detail on it last episode of kind of why I wanted to start a podcast, and I've been watching them for a while, and that was the push I needed. So we're back again this week. So far, kind of keeping up with the MKAL and the podcasts. I'm a little bit behind where I was when I posted my last video last week. I think I posted on Thursday last week. It's Friday today. So the clue 3 for the MKAL has been out for a day already. But I work things, life stuff got in the way. So filming on Friday during my lunch. So the lighting's a little different. I'm sitting in a little bit of a different seat. I was sitting there last time when I filmed, but I'm at my desk today with my laptop open working with my phone right from my laptop, so if anyone messages me I can see it. But I will get started with today's episode. So going to do finished objects, works in progress, and I don't think I had any acquisitions this week, which is good because I'm trying to limit my spending. And then we'll go through any future plans and ideas I have. So first things first, what I'm wearing the Ingrid Sweater by PetiteKnit. Sorry if you hear my chair rolling, I'm sitting at my desk chair. But this is knit out of Cory Confetti in the Mallard colorway, and I held a strand of the La Bien Aimée mohair with it as well. The mohair was in the color Isle of Skeie, I believe. It's on my Ravelry, but so this is it. And I made a size small, but I don't think I got gauge. I didn't gauge swatch. I mentioned last week I usually don't gauge swatch for PetiteKnit specifically, because I usually am pretty close to her gauge when I knit with the correct size yarn. For this specific project, I thought Cory Confetti was worsted, but then just based off of meterage, I think it's 230 meters per 100 grams, and which I guess is DK. So for some reason I thought it was worsted, so I made a small just because I thought it might be a little bit oversized, and it is, but I like how big it is on me. It's got quite, like, my ribs are here, so it's got at least 4 inches of positive ease on either side. But I like how oversized it is. It's very sweatshirty feeling. I did modify it a little bit. I did a folded over neck rather than the 2x2 and then 1x1 rib on the neck, and the sleeves I continued decreasing. I made them to pattern once on one of the sleeves, and they like came down to here on me when I was standing up, and they were super wide, so I figured I would rip it out. I ripped it out all the way back to the start of the 2x2 rib and decided to keep decreasing. I think that's where you stop decreasing in the pattern. And continued decreasing, and just, I think I did the same number of rows. I just made it, I think I decreased up like that much in that short of amount of time. So I think I wound up decreasing about 15 or 16 stitches, just to make the cuff a little bit tighter on my hand, because I didn't like how floppy and long it was. If it was one or the other, I think I would have liked it how it was, but I ripped it out and changed it. So But yes, it's very comfy and cozy and I love it. I said last episode, I've made a lot of green sweaters lately. This was the start of the green sweater kick. And I still have 3 or 4 green sweaters planned out. So, oops. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is my twist and turns shawl. So like I mentioned, today's Friday. So the new Clue 3 came out yesterday. I didn't start knitting on the new Clue until this morning. I usually knit for about 30 minutes or an hour before I work, especially if I'm working from home, which I typically work from home Monday and Friday. So I don't have to get fully ready, commute to the city. So I have a little bit more time to knit in the morning because I'm not a morning person. So I was just knitting on Clue 3 a little bit today. But other than that, this is a spoiler, if anyone is watching or cares, but just wanted to let people know. So Clue 2 I'm finished with. I finished that up. I actually got through it pretty quickly. I was shocked how quickly I got through it. I think I finished it over the weekend last week. So, I think I finished it on Sunday evening. I have been, since I ripped out my mom's sweater so many times, I've kind of been in a cable groove lately. So the cabled sections weren't too bad for me, but, this is how it's looking. Oh gosh, I'm all tangled up here already. So this was the first week Clue, with all the chevrons, and then there's the stripe and the, oh, I'm showing the wrong side. Not that it really matters that much. There's the stripe and the cable. So it's really tough to see in this yarn. I'm kind of regretting doing speckle. Not regretting. I wish you could see the cable a little bit more. You can kind of see it. I think with the Clue 3 I-cord, it'll be a little bit more noticeable, but the speckle just kind of drowns it out. So I think in future MKALs, I'm just going to stick to solid colors. That's what I did last year, and I really liked it. Just because you don't really know what's going to come or what he's going to put into things. But so far, I like the overall look of it and the color combo I chose. It's just some of the cable textures getting lost, which is not the end of the world. And then this is how far I've gotten onto Clue 3. So I've gotten, what is this? I'm just starting the second wave on this side. So there's like this little twisted rib cable going, and it's gonna make 2 really long, like, I don't know what to call them, arms off of the side of it. So it's gonna go, I think I have to do this repeat 4 times total. So this like arc up and down 4 times. So it's gonna go like, it's probably gonna be at least 2 feet long. So I'm very intrigued to see where that winds up going next week with the Clue. But I think there might be, I don't know why, I feel like there's not that much knitting this week. So I feel like Steven might throw in an extra twist and there's gonna be a second Clue soon. So I want to try and get through this Clue this week by tonight, which I think I can do. It's only across 25 stitches. It shouldn't take that long, just in case there's an extra Clue. So I'm happy I'm keeping up with it so far. It's nice to kind of finish early, and I can, not early, I know Steven says embrace your pace, but it's nice to like kind of have it off my plate so I'm not stressing out about it, because I'm a cheater. Not a cheater, but the second his video comes up, because it's usually out by the time I wake up in the morning, immediately skip to the end to see what I'm doing. So I think if I hadn't had it finished by the time the Clue comes out, I don't know if I would keep knitting on it, because I'd already see where the Clue's going rather than just be able to start that Clue. So that's that. That's my, I guess it's a finished object, but not, because I finished week 2. So I feel like I can count it as a finished object, half finished object, finished object. The part I needed to finish in the week is finished. So I'm going to call it finished. And it's a whip because I have Clue 3 to go through now. So like I said, I finished that pretty quickly. Not not pretty quickly. I finished it over the weekend, so I had a few days during the week that I could knit on other things. I was a little knitted out after finishing Clue 2, so I don't think I knit much on Monday, like very, very little amount, maybe a few rounds on a sock. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, I knit a little bit here and there. I did manage, so Ryan's sweater, which I'm making, this is the zipper sweater. I showed it last week. It didn't have arms yet, and I managed to finish one of the arms, so this is what it's looking like. And I like to do the arms first because I'm not flopping so much of the body around to do it. So I think last week I was about here on the arm, so I managed to finish this much of the arm. It is, I don't know if I said the pattern, it's the Zipper Sweater Man by PetiteKnit, and the yarn is Sorella Bulky in Shakespeare's Garden, which was from a collection she did over the summer. So I'm liking how it's turning out so far. It's kind of hurting my wrists a little bit. I usually don't knit on this thick of yarn. It's only on 5mm needles, but I don't know, maybe it's just the small circumference, the yarn weight, and the needle size is kind of hurting my wrists, so that's not ideal. But I'm liking how it's turning out so far. I like the tonality. It's not, I don't think it's this drastic in real life how tonal it is, but I don't think you can see where I changed skeins. I changed skeins, I think this is right where I changed skeins. So you can't really tell a difference between the two skeins, I don't think, which is nice considering I was not alternating skeins. I might alternate on this sleeve because I have like half of a ball left from where I started. So I started, this pink thread is just where my stitches were on hold. Sometimes I'll leave in the waist yarn that I hold the stitches on just to easily measure how long the sleeve is so far, especially on the first sleeves, just so I can kind of get an easier measurement of how far I've knit for the length. But yeah, so I'm liking how it's going so far, and I might alternate and be a good knitter so I don't have any demarcation from another ball when I get to it. But I think this is 5 balls so far. I think I have 10 total and this is 5, so I think I should be good. I have a whole body to do still, unless he wants a crop top, which I don't think he does. So we'll see, but I think that's enough, hopefully. Don't know what I'll do if I don't have enough, but we'll see. So green sweater number 2. And then green sweater number 3 is my Sunday sweater. I just have to bend down and pick it up. And I knit on this one a little bit too this week. So this one is, last week I was, I think like 2 or 3 rows past the arm sleeve separation. So I got a few inches of progress. It is on 7mm needles, so it is a little bit faster than the zipper sweater, and the gauge is, I don't know if you can see, but the gauge is much looser than the zipper sweater, which I think I like. I was a little hesitant last week that I didn't know if it was if this is what the correct gauge is per the pattern, but I'm just gonna go with it and hope it works out. So this is the Sunday sweater by PetiteKnit, and I'm using Woolberry. So it is the Cliff colorway in the Aran weight and Surrey, and that is from her coastal collection that she had over the summer. So I love green, so I had to get the green. I think I have 2 other greens from Bethany that I have in sweater quantities that will be green sweaters. So this is green sweater number 3. And I was able to make some progress on it, which I'm happy about. And I love how, I don't know if you'll be able to see, I love how the Surrey is a little bit lighter. So it's just like kind of marling everything, and just like there's like these darker sections and then there's the lighter bits. So I'm loving how it's looking. It's a little, it's not nearly as blue in real life as it is here. I don't know, maybe that's a little bit better. Sorry, I'm covering my mouth, but It's like a perfect Christmassy dark green. So I love it. And then what else was I working on? Oh, my socks. So last week I showed my socks. I had a sock from last year that's just been a lingering half-finished object. So it's this sock from last year. I used a Homespun House Spice Cider for the main color, and then Loganberry is the heel toe cuff. And that's been sitting in a bag for a year. So I finally started knitting on it, and I think last week I hadn't even started the heel. So I did the heel and a few rounds on the foot. I'm a size 9, women's 9, like a 39-40 European. So generally when I do pattern socks, if it's a 4 repeat sock, I do 20 repeats. So 80 rounds total in the foot before I start the heel, before I start the toe. I think this is a 6-row repeat, so I'm gonna be doing a little bit less, and I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 bumps done. I don't know. I guess it's maybe a 12 stitch repeat, because I think each of the like this is a repeat from here to here where it's like offset. So I'm making some progress on these. Like I said, I knit on these primarily when I'm commuting to and from work, mostly from work. So I usually can get through like a repeat on the train. It's only about a 15-20 minute train ride. So slowly but surely, but these are going to be great, like Thanksgiving socks. They just look like pumpkin pie. I love them. They're so fall, and like I love the little speckles of like red and brown. Oh, they're great. It's like pumpkin pie with whipped cream. I love it. So these are my Homespun House socks that I worked on, and then I have a few unmatched socks in my life at the moment. So my other pair I'm working on is, just knocked something off my desk. My desk is chaos, just like my brain, but it's just covered in things at all times. Not just for filming, just always covered in things, and there's enough space for my keyboard and my mouse, and that is it. So over the summer for Yarnia Sock Bingo, so I live relatively close to Yarnia, about 20-30 minutes away driving, and they have Sock Bingo every summer, and I think I just found out about Yarnia right before Sock Bingo, that it was there and that they had a podcast and everything. And I looked online, and they had, what is this? Regia, the Arnie and Carlos Lafotaine line. So it's commercial yarn. It's definitely woolly compared to all of the hand-dyed merino wool yarns that I have for socks, but it seems like very sturdy, like boot socky. I wear all my socks in my boots, but like seems like a very hard wearing sock yarn. So Norway to me is gorgeous, and I watched the Arnie and Carlos video of like how they picked the colors and what inspired them, and I was like, okay, well, I'm getting all of the colors. And Yarnia had, I think, all but one of the colors, and I just ordered one of the other colors randomly from some online store. So that my goal this year is to get through all 6 of the color. I think it's 6 or 7 colors. So this is the second color I'm doing. So I did this sock already. I used the Moore's Hell pure, geez Louise, need more coffee. Hold on. Let me drink coffee first. Okay, so this is the Moore's Hill sock pattern from Inga from Knitting Tradition. So the main thing that's different about it from the sock patterns I usually do is the heel. And I think she said her grandma taught her how to knit this, or like it's the traditional Norwegian way of knitting a heel. So it's kind of just, it's not ribbed or anything. It's just kind of knit down, and then you kind of knit everything together and keep going. So I figured I would try it out. I had the pattern already. And my this this is my second colorway of knit out of this yarn line. And the first one I did, I actually have them over here, let me grab them, but I did, it's like the purpley color, but I did a German short row heel. So I wanted to do a slightly different heel, but I couldn't decide which. So I figured I would do this one and just see how I liked it. It doesn't really disrupt the stripes too much, like most self-striping yarns do when you knit like a heel flap. I don't know if that's because the stripes are so irregular anyway, you can't really notice it, or if that's just how it worked out when I was knitting it. But I started knitting the second sock, so I just have the heel, and I'm a few rounds into the heel, geez Louise, the cuff, and I'm a few rounds into the leg. And usually when I do my self-striping, I don't really, unless it's like the Perfect, which I've never actually knit, but unless it's intended to be exactly the same, like a 24 stripe advent sock or something like that, I usually go out of my way to make sure they don't match, because if they were a little bit off, it would drive me crazy. But if they're completely off, I don't really care in the striping. So they started at completely different points, which is fine with me, but it's a nice break on my hands to like have something a little bit scratchier with a little bit more grip. My gauge is still kind of loose, and I did get the 1.75 needle. So on the next pair of socks I start, I'm gonna try those and see if I can even hold them. But it just, like, they're not squishy. They just don't feel like cozy, comfy. They're just like meh, which is annoying. But let me go grab my purple socks and I'll show you those since they're right over there drying. I washed them the other day. So these are the purple ones. So like I said, I did a short row heel here. And I think it's a twisted rib 1x1 cuff. But these are the first pair I did, and I love the self-striping, and I think it's so cool how they get like it looks like almost tie-dye or like color work on these sections. I guess because it's commercial they're able to do it, but just love how they look, and switching up my sock drawer a little bit, you know, getting a few different colors in there, different types of socks. So this is my other sock I've been working on, and this was great like right after the MKAL when I finished it, because it's just stockinette, don't have to think about it. I have it literally, it has just been sitting in my nightstand, and I just knit on it at night before I fall asleep, and then that's just where it lives. So I don't think this one's gonna get finished anytime soon, we'll see, but maybe I will finish it just so all my sock needles are cleared off. But this is where this one is. All right, and then I think, oh no, my last something I worked on, I don't even want to know, I don't know if I'll call it a work in progress. I did like a kind of swatch for my dad's sweater. So I said last time he wants a Marius sweater, but he wants a fingering weight Marius, which I got the pattern for from Mother Knitter. I got the yarn and the pattern there. They had their 1-year birthday sale of being open, so I think all yarn was 20% off, or most yarns were 20% off. So I got his sweater quantity there, and they had the patterns. I had to buy the whole catalog because they didn't have it like individually, which is fine, but I got the pattern for the Marius and fingering weight for men. And my dad said he wanted part of the design on his sleeve and on his waist, just above the ribbing. So I kind of wanted to think, but not really. So instead of swatching, I just did the arm, because I think the arms are knit. So I looked at the pattern, and I've not made a sweater like this before, so I'm a little bit nervous, but you do bottom up for the waist, or for the body, and the arms, and then you kind of make like a big tube, and then you steek the arms holes, and you sew on the arms, I think is how it's done. I'm not positive. The Sandnesgarn patterns are not super in depth, I assume because it's in a magazine or like a booklet, so they have limited space where they can put things to begin with. So I'm gonna have to watch some videos on how to do that, or figure out how to properly reinforce a steek before I do it, because I don't have a sewing machine up here. But so this is the color work I figured out to do for his sleeve and his body. So the main color of the sweater is going to be this dark gray, and then the blue is going to be like an accent, and then this like light gray is going to be the main color work color. So I think he likes it. We'll see, but yeah, so I'm gonna do, I think I'll see if I can find a picture of it. But I was like going through Ravelry and Instagram to try and find people who kind of changed up the Marius pattern from what it normally is, to kind of be how he wanted it. And I found one that was like, you do a row of or like a motif of the third color, and then you do the main like X section in the most prevalent color, and then just like the very top color work, and the shoulder seam and the neck are in the third color again. So I think I'm gonna do something like that. Hopefully I can find a picture, because I definitely did not explain that well on how they did it. But I think that's what I'm gonna do. He's not a very, I don't know what the word is. He's a very visual person, so he can't like conceptualize what something's gonna look like if you say, I'm gonna do this, but with these colors. So that's why I made the start at the sleeve, so I could kind of show him what it's gonna look like on his sleeve before I did a whole body and color work on the bottom, and he decided he didn't like it. So I think he likes it, but I think that's gonna kind of take a back seat for now, until the MKAL is kind of a little bit further along. Especially this week, we'll see. But I think I'd rather work on socks and my green sweaters right now before I do more fingering weight projects, especially fingering weight sweaters. And then let's see, future plans and like what I'm working on. Oh, my acquisitions are this week. My only acquisitions were those 1.75 sock needles. I got them. I usually like Haya needles for like sweaters and stuff, but I've had ChowGoo sock needles. I usually use 9-inch circulars, but I couldn't find ChowGoo 1.75 millimeter 9-inch circulars anywhere, which was annoying. So I wound up getting Haya. I don't even think they're sharps. They have the green cord. I think they're just Haya 1.75 9-inch circulars. So that's what I have to try out, and I got Haya sharp double pointed for the toe and the heel, which Haya are generally my preferred double pointed needle. So I really like knitting with double pointed needles, but I don't know if I have been gripping the needles tighter to like try and tighten up my gauge. I've bent like 4 Haya needles, double pointed needles, in the last like month and a half with like sock toes or heels, which is very frustrating. So, but I like metal needles, but that's like every time I have a metal needle, I swear I bend it. So hopefully I don't bend these, because they're legitimately toothpicks, and they work out, but we'll see. I think I want to do another homespun house pair of socks in a fall color. I'm going to try and only knit fall color socks until the end of October, and maybe November. I'm not even going to say maybe middle of November, like a week into November, and then I'm going to want to knit all of the Christmas socks, because I want to try and knit a few pairs of socks for Christmas, because I don't think I'm going to finish any of these sweaters in time for Christmas, which is unfortunate. We'll see, but I don't think I'm going to. And the other ideally for Christmas sweater I'd like to make is for my sister. So when I ordered this yarn, the Corey Confetti, I had to get the green because I'm a green girl, but it was right when they came out with the mallard color. But I was ordering on my phone after a birthday trip and I was flying home from Portugal. I was jet lagged and I was on the train and I was flipping through all the colors and I hit add 6 to cart, checked out, didn't look again. A few days later, it got to me because La Bien-Aimée is the fastest shipping in the world. And it was the gray color, not the green. So I went online to see how much it would be to return it. And the price to return it was like 3/4 of the price of the actual yarn to like send it back to Paris. So I decided to just keep the yarn. And I asked my sister if she wanted a sweater out of it because I don't think I need 2 Corey confetti sweaters. That just seems like a bit much. So like I'm not a bright colorful person to begin with. So I was like, Meg, do you want me to make you a sweater using this yarn? And she likes really, really oversized fitting sweaters and things like that, but she lives in Los Angeles, so she doesn't have a huge need for sweaters unless she's in the East Coast or in Switzerland for Christmas. So I'd like to try and get it done for her for Christmas so she can wear it for at least a few weeks of the year and then might not wear it again for another year. Who knows? Maybe she's gonna hate it. I've not knit her anything yet because she appreciates my knitting, but she doesn't like watching me knit because when we were growing up, I would always just like knit or crochet. If something was messed up, I would just rip it out and just frog it and then restart. And it would infuriate her watching me spend hours working on something and then be like, nope, something's off, can't fix it, rip it out. So she does not like watching me knit. So I haven't made her anything yet, but she likes to be warm. She hates being cold. And she's expressly said she doesn't want socks. She would take a hat or a sweater or something else, but she does not want socks because she has like special socks she likes to wear. I don't know. So I'm hoping to finish the sweater for her for Christmas so she has something warm for me in Switzerland. But I don't feel like flying with it to Switzerland because I'm going to have my own suitcase. And I'm going out to see her in 2.5 weeks. So I kind of am thinking I'm gonna try and have a whole sweater done for her in 2.5 weeks in DK weight yarn. I don't know if that's possible. I'd like to think it is. I have to look at some patterns too. I think I'm gonna try and do the Marseille sweater by PetiteKnit, just because I don't have a mohair to hold with the gray. And apparently it's a DK yarn, even though I thought it was worsted. But she likes the look of like the Ozetta and My Favorite Things knitwear silhouettes that are like a little bit baggy, oversized, kind of like this is on me because it goes down pretty long. It's oversized. So I think I'm gonna do the Marseille sweater because she doesn't like turtlenecks either. And I'm just gonna do it all one color and see how that works out, hopefully. I don't even know, I think it's on 4mm needles, which is fine. So that's my future knitting plans. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I will be back in less than a week. Hopefully I'll post something before the next clue comes out or on next Thursday for the MKAL. But thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.